2008's The Dark Knight shattered records and instantly became a fan favorite, expanding on the success and story from Christopher Nolan's prior Batman film, 2005's Batman Begins. How did Nolan achieve this astronomical success, going bigger while avoiding the pitfalls of previous Batman sequels, with a unique and immersive advertising campaign, and a well-written, tense script acted out by an amazing cast? Hi, I'm Matt Barton. Join me in taking a look back at this iconic film's inception, promotional marketing, a recap and analysis of the film itself, audience and critical reception, merchandise, and where Chris Nolan's take on the Batman universe would go next. Here is my look back at The Dark Knight.
Here we go.
Nearly a decade after the prior release featuring not just the Caped Crusader, but the dynamic duo, Batman and Robin, in 2005, Christopher Nolan's revival and reboot of The Dark Knight on film, Batman Begins, redefined what a superhero film could be. The film was grounded, realistic, and serious, a complete diversion from the noir-inspired roots of the Batman films, and their freefall into camp and satire. Though Batman Begins was a soft financial success, the film was a massive critical success, prompting Warner Brothers to move quickly on a sequel. However, for director Christopher Nolan, a follow-up to Batman Begins was never guaranteed. Batman Begins ended with a clear teaser for a sequel, The Joker's Calling Card, though Nolan wasn't sure at the time that a sequel would happen. He wasn't sure if Batman Begins would be a success. He had never made a sequel before, and the past record of Batman films revealed a pattern of changing directors and leads. Still, ideas had already begun forming behind the scenes. During production of Batman Begins, Nolan and co-writer David S. Goyer discussed where the story could go next, the latter of whom even outlined ideas for 2 sequels. But Nolan hesitated, unsure how to continue the story without losing its grounded tone, choosing to first work on The Prestige. When Nolan's work on The Prestige was complete in 2006, development for Batman Begins sequel, what would become one of superhero cinema, if not cinema in general's most coveted films, The Dark Knight, finally began.
Because we very much approached them as individual films. When we made Batman Begins, we didn't think there was ever going to be another one.
Chris approaches these films, I think, in a way that's very different than most people or most studios approach these films. He's been very reticent to approach something from the get-go as if we're doing a trilogy. He doesn't like to plan things as sequel bait or plant things that would only pay off until a second film.
And Chris always came from a perspective of, yeah, but is it essential? Let's not make a movie just because, there's an appetite for it. Let's make a movie because we have something to say. If you could seek out the kind of rules hidden in and amongst all of the different versions of the character, the ones that matter, the ones that really matter. And then try to tell a complete story there with an arc.
It is the most perfectly logical way to do this kind of fiction.
I think with a lot of these so-called superhero trilogies now, they make the first one, and then they sit around a table and they say, okay, who's our villain going to be for the second one? And then they start writing a story from that. We never thought that was a particularly organic approach. We thought that was kind of backwards. So what we tended to do is say, what kind of story do we want to tell about our protagonist?
During production, the filmmakers focused on a single powerful idea, hinted at during the end of Nolan's first Batman film, escalation.
Escalation. We start carrying semi-automatics, they buy automatics. We start wearing Kevlar, they buy armor-piercing rounds.
Yeah.
And you're wearing a mask, jumping off rooftops.
At last, Nolan and Goyer had decided that Batman's war on crime, The theatricality of Gotham's criminals wouldn't end with Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow. It would evolve. Now, the bigger and better mentality employed by Nolan and Goyer was a far cry from what had been done in the past. Starting with 1989's Batman, director Tim Burton's film was praised for looking big, expensive, jam-packed with explosive action, that of which did not overshadow the slower, more intimate or tense scenes and their weight. Tim Burton's sequel, Batman Returns, focused more so on the slower scenes, but still attempted to make the film bigger and more action-oriented, this time with 2 villains, not just one. When Burton stepped away from the franchise, replaced by Joel Schumacher, the new director and his team made the 3rd Batman installment bigger and brighter than ever, with even more exaggerated, loud performances, explosions, massive sets, and more. Though the film was still praised, Batman Forever was when the first cracks in the Batman franchise began to show. The sequel, Batman and Robin, amplified those cracks, the faults in Forever. The 4th Batman film was even bigger, brighter, louder, and campier, with even larger stakes. The films over time getting so big, so bright, so over the top directly led to audience distaste for the Batman franchise. Audiences no longer wanted a bigger, what some consider a more important or must-see blockbuster film. The 80s and 90s were packed to the gills with them. Critics and audiences didn't care if there was more action or eccentric performances. They wanted the Batman film they saw next to be good. Written well, with tension, relatable but imperfect characters, plot structure, some action, yes, but most of all, people wanted Batman to be taken seriously again. Though Schumacher's more serious sequel to Batman and Robin was scrapped, Nolan and Goyer's reimagination of that plan was everything audiences desired, and more. Nolan and Goyer, for their Batman sequel, did not want to fall into that same trap of bigger and louder that Schumacher's films did. Thus, Nolan and Goyer aimed to make the sequel to Batman Begins bigger and better, yes, but through realism. Grounded escalation. And how better to escalate a series predicated as a crime drama than introduce a character, the Joker, who doesn't have any basis for his crime. A man who doesn't want anything, only chaos. Chaos that's funny to him, because nothing matters to him. A man who not only wants to mess with Batman, but also mob bosses and Gotham's White Knight District Attorney for fun.
Batman Begins is very much a hero's journey. It's an origin story, it's an origin myth, and so it has a sense of romanticism or theatricality that embraces that story model. With The Dark Knight, in order to change the scale of the film, we went to a city story, we went to a crime epic. That allows you to look at all these different aspects of Gotham society. There's a city-based socioeconomic idea behind the film that demands a different visual approach.
Interestingly, Goyer and Nolan chose not to focus the film solely on the Joker, saving the character for several exceptional sequences, the less is more mentality. In fact, the film's true centerpiece wasn't even Batman, but the White Knight, District Attorney Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, very early on, we did talk about introducing him, and in fact, I think in David's earliest draft, Larry Holden's character is actually referred to as Harvey Dent.
As much as I care about getting Falcone, I care more about you.
And then we changed our minds because we weren't going to make a second film, as far as we knew. We were putting all our eggs in one basket. So the function that Harvey Dent would have had in the first film didn't justify using the name of the character. We said, no, we're just going to make this one movie and we're going to make it as good as it possibly could be. Then when we decided to make a second film, we did the same thing. And if we knew we were doing a third film, there might have been an argument for spreading Two-Face's story over another film. That's the kind of trap you fall into when you're looking too far ahead, because we wouldn't have made The Dark Knight the way we made it, and it was made in my opinion, the right way for the story we wanted to tell. We didn't hold anything back for a third film.
Dent was written as the moral core of Gotham, a symbol of hope, a man caught between order and chaos, always attempting to do what's right, despite his behind closed doors temper. With Jonathan Nolan joining the writing process, the screenplay evolved over nearly a year, and the Joker became a sort of force of nature, a domestic terrorist. The Nolan brothers and Goyer, taking inspiration from crime films like The Godfather and darker comic book interpretations from the 80s, crafting a character who wasn't just evil, but purely chaotic.
You know, I just do things.
The Joker wasn't chasing money or power. He wanted to prove a point, that anyone, even the best of us, can fall. One of the main points used by the Joker in The Killing Joke, all it takes is one bad day. The same graphic novel was also used as inspiration for Tim Burton's Batman in 1989. The line,
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
was added late into the project's development and from that point on became the film's eerie but powerful thesis. The cast for the film included a slight shakeup. Christian Bale returned as Bruce Wayne, Michael Caine as Alfred, and Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Rachel Dawes, however, a character made up entirely for Nolan's films to be Bruce's love interest, had to be recast. The original actor, Katie Holmes, was unable to return to the role due to scheduling conflicts, having signed on for the comedy Mad Money, a decision that felt right for her at the time. Maggie Gyllenhaal, upon the granting of Holmes' approval, took over as Dawes, visually similar but bringing her own charm to the role. For the role of Harvey Dent, Nolan sought an actor with a classic American presence, someone who could realistically embody an idealistic outlook of justice, but could also convincingly break when pushed too far. Aaron Eckhart, having just portrayed a similar role in 2005's Thank You for Smoking, brought that balance. The most talked about casting decision, however, was the Joker. After all, Jack Nicholson in the role of the Joker, such an iconic portrayal of the classic villain, would be a massive undertaking to follow up and redefine. Thus, when Heath Ledger was announced for the role, after having been turned down for the role of Batman during the casting of Batman Begins, the reaction amongst fans was mixed. Many doubted the choice, but Nolan was confident. Confidence that paid off. Ledger and the studio both worked in their own ways to help shift audience perspective. First, Ledger approached the role with total commitment. Isolating himself for weeks, Ledger kept a personal Joker diary, filling it with twisted images and ideas that shaped the character. During this time of isolation, he also developed the Joker's voice, mannerisms, and psychology, largely inspired by musician Tom Waits' gravelly, slurred, and unpredictable vocal pattern. The Joker's disheveled look and menacing mannerisms were said to have been inspired by Malcolm McDowell's performance in A Clockwork Orange. Interestingly, the lip wetting, which would become an iconic part of the menacing nature of the character, wasn't inspired by anything. Rather, the method Ledger used to keep the prosthetic scars from falling off his face. Second, the studio implemented an intricate and fun marketing tactic to introduce audiences to this brand new take on the Joker character, which will be inspected more closely in the upcoming promotional material segment. Though unfortunately passing away before the film's official release, Heath Ledger's performance as Batman's primary antagonist, the Joker, would become one of the most intense and iconic, going on to define the Joker character in all forms of media going forward.
This wall is a sort of conglomeration of all the images that we started out with. This is a sort of, like an amalgam of shirt fabrics and ties. Everything with a little bit of edge and a bit of jagginess. Different colours, kind of safely going towards a really black purple. and then thinking, no, we've got to do it, come back here to the purple, you know. And this is a panel of the final decided fabrics and colors.
Armed with a massive $185 million budget, filming began in April 2007. Keeping in line with Batman Begins, desiring the feel of a realistic city, the majority of the Dark Knight's exterior scenes were shot in Chicago. The idea was to use the modern architecture of the urban environment to keep Gotham City from the fantasy vibe audiences had grown accustomed to allow the city, and thus population of Gotham, to be personally recognizable and, therefore, allow the city and citizens, along with audiences, to feel more vulnerable. And though Chicago served as Gotham's visual backbone, production also spanned England, Hong Kong, and other international locations. In modern filming, it has become commonplace to implement a lot of CGI and green screens when filming outdoors in a city to avoid the high cost of practical effects and inside scoops spoiling the plot of the film. However, Nolan insisted on realism, avoiding computer-generated imagery whenever possible, implementing the expensive practical effects to allow the film to look as real as possible. This included flipping a real 18-wheel truck and blowing up an actual building, both events which were action highlights of the film. And because they were real and not simulated, the climactic events were not just seen, but felt by audiences. Viewers could feel the heavy impact of the semi and could be shaken by the very real explosion of the hospital. Because they were real.
Harvey Dent. We knew we were going to have to do the effect digitally. I wanted it to be a little bit unreal because we wanted it to be shocking but not depressing. And so I felt that with CG, there was a little more of a window for the audience to accept it in a slightly more comfortable way. And what that meant for Aaron was we had to try and involve him in the design of it as much as possible and show him it as much as possible as we were developing it with him. But I also had them apply the scalp, you know, the bear scalp and everything. That was actually a prosthetic piece that we gave him because we wanted that awareness. You wanted him to be able to look in the mirror and see something different, see some of the distortion that was going to happen to the scalp, and to feel that, be wearing that in a sense.
On top of practical effects, The Dark Knight's production also broke new ground technically, becoming the first major production to film significant portions using IMAX cameras. See, at the time, the technology was rarely used outside documentaries, as the cameras were large, expensive, and difficult to handle. At last, the film was completed on time and under budget, lasting 127 days. Following Ledger's untimely death, many rumors speculated that the role was too much for him, but that unempathetic notion was quickly overruled by those involved in the production. Even so, the filmmakers weren't sure how to proceed, as Ledger was such an important, pivotal part of the film. Eventually, Nolan decided to keep the perfect performance as it stood. Nolan stated that editing the film following Ledger's passing became, quote, tremendously emotional right when he passed, having to go back in and look at him every day. However, Nolan stated that, quote, the truth is, I feel very lucky to have had something productive to do, to have a performance that he was very, very proud of, and that he had entrusted me to finish. And upon what Nolan coined aggressive editing, to cut the film down to a palatable size with a fast but tense pace, composers Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard returned to build the score. The pair aimed to use psychological themes driven by harsh, unsettling tones, helping to make the tense film even more so. During production and following completion of the film, the studio leaned into a larger promotional campaign than for the prior film, including a very interesting and unique campaign for the film's villains. The Dark Knight's marketing campaign was intensive and innovative, directly involving fans in an alternate reality game in real life. Developed by 42 Entertainment, Nolan and the marketing team wanted to counter the negative reception to the Joker's casting, control the first look at the villain, and increase general audience knowledge of the Harvey Dent Two-Face character. Starting in May 2007, campaign posters for Harvey Dent and Joker playing cards were included in comic books across the US. The bonus items led fans to a website where they could reveal the very first image of the Joker, which was quite well received. The interactive, slow burn advertising for the film continued at San Diego Comic-Con, where 11,000 $1 bills were modified with the Joker's image and the phrase, "Why so serious?" The dollars themselves no doubt a callback to Nicholson's take on the character.
What do you want?
My face on the $1 bill.
Outside the event, 650,000 fans watched an airplane write a special phone number in the sky, leading the fans on a scavenger hunt, with the event ultimately concluding with actors dressed like the mob kidnapping a fan deemed the world's greatest Batman fan. Additionally, fans found Nokia cell phones inside cakes in certain US bakeries, leading to early access to the film's bank heist scene, introducing the Joker before its public release in December. Ledger's appearance in the scene was very well received, entirely altering the discourse around his casting. In July 2007, the very first teaser for The Dark Knight was released.
I knew the mob wouldn't go down without a fight. I crossed the line.
You crossed the line first, sir. You hammered him.
Featuring no actual footage from the film, only powerful lines.
I'm a man of my word.
Needless to say, people were hyped, and upon the drop of the real full-length trailers, audiences became even more excited. Six Flags, seeing the intense anticipation for the next Batman film, opened a brand new indoor dark coaster called simply the Dark Knight Coaster. Nesquik cereal included many Batman or Joker figures. Most prominently, Burger King partnered with the film, offering Dark Knight pointers, stampers, and keychains with their kids' meal.
Feed your dark side. Flame-grilled beef transformed by cracked black pepper cheese, black pepper ketchup, and a darkly delicious sauce. The Dark Whopper. Inspired by the Dark Knight.
Since Batman Begins was the only Batman film to not feature a fast food kids toy tie-in, at least in the US, it appeared as though the studio no longer thought that fast food partnerships could harm the reputation of the superhero crime drama. Germany's Burger King tie-in featured an even wider selection of toys. After Ledger's passing, the campaign continued with a stronger focus on Harvey Dent's fake election campaign.
HD for DA! HD for DA! We're taking back Gotham! We're taking back Gotham! I believe in Harvey Dent! I believe in Harvey Dent!
Likely drawing influence from the 2008 presidential election, including signs, stickers, and Dentmobiles visiting US cities with the fake campaign. Apparently, the fake election pop-ups were shut down quickly by the Chicago police.
Batman has a built-in audience. The challenge is, how do you make a film that fans want to go see, an event that everyone has to go see? So we engineered a strategy of viral campaigns.
Sort of like these extensions, entertainments unto themselves.
I don't know Harvey Dent.
sort of viral entertainments.
News of the record-breaking turnout, though, was eclipsed by yet another story of the masked vigilante known as the Batman.
Seeding documents into the world, mysterious documents about the various characters, having fans attend Harvey Dent rallies, or when it came time to release the third trailer for The Dark Knight, we staged a scavenger hunt. And instead of finding the traditional trailer, the fans found the Jokerized, hacked together, vandalized trailer that automatically told the fans that this was going to be an experience like no other. As the films pushed the envelope and changed the genre, it was necessary that our marketing campaign do the same.
In the case of The Dark Knight, I think it was very involving, very entertaining in a marketing sense. The concept of viral marketing being something quite new and fresh at the time, as applied to a big blockbuster in the way we did. Of course, the problem is that immediately that approach gets co-opted by every other movie that comes after.
Close to the film's release, actors began appearing in high-profile interviews.
You know, it has the stunts, the special effects, etc., but that understands that means nothing. You know, that is just pure novelty if it doesn't have a great, solid, substantial story to it. And he's achieved that. And Chris always credits his audience with intelligence. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Lastly, the Dark Knight's advertising campaign concluded in July 2008 with the bat signal lit up in Chicago and New York City. According to industry professionals, the campaign was considered not only creative, but a masterful success. At last, on July 18th, 2008, The Dark Knight was released.
Would you believe The Dark Knight is playing in more than 4,000 movie theaters across the nation right now?
Ticket takers carefully let the eager audience in, while hundreds of others waited on the street for the next showing.
We've been planning to see this for several months now, and then it turned out that it's going to be on his birthday, so we had to come out here.
The line stretched around 3 sides of this New York City block, but for these serious fans who bought their tickets weeks ago, a few hours on the pavement did not dull their enthusiasm.
It's been on my calendar since I first knew the movie was coming out, and I'm so excited, I can't even stand it.
It was all a bunch of jokers.
Okay, all at once, all at once. And the lines aren't like this all across the country from what we've heard, and the madness won't be stopping anytime soon when it's like this. The Dark Knight is expected to break into the top 10 all-time box office hits with these sorts of crowds.
The film opens with a slow, gritty bank heist featuring the Joker's goons. Throughout the heist, each of the thugs mentioned being told by the Joker to kill the thug they were partnered with, picking each other off one by one until there are only 2 left.
You and your friends are dead! He's out, right? Where did you learn to count? I'm betting the Joker told you to kill me as soon as we loaded the cash.
No. I killed a bus driver.
What bus driver? What happened to the rest of the guys?
Think you're smart, huh? The guy that hired yous. He'll just do the same to you.
At last, the Joker himself is revealed to have been playing a thug to deceive them, slipping away. The mask he had worn, a reference to the 60s Batman show, a similar mask worn by Cesar Romero's Joker. The opening instantly introduced the audience to Heath Ledger's Joker, an even crueler, more demented version than general audiences were accustomed to. The scene itself instantly becoming a classic moment for the character.
Criminals in his time used to believe in things. Honor. Respect. What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in?
The Joker replying simply,
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
His completely nonsensical response, a perfect representation of his character throughout the film. The Joker doesn't care about respect or honor. He wants to watch Gotham burn to the ground because that, the chaos, is simply funny to him. That is precisely escalation in criminality. That night, the Chechen, portrayed by Richie Coster, meets with Scarecrow to chat about his drugs.
Look at your drugs. Steal from my customers.
You don't like what I have to offer, you can buy from someone else. Assuming Batman left anyone to buy from.
Right dogs. Hombre! Pity there's only one of you.
A team of people dressing as Batman, not dissimilar to the Batmen in Dark Knight Returns, show up with guns, shooting at the criminals.
That's not him.
In another classic entrance, the real Batman shows up.
That's more like it.
Stopping the copy bats, and then stops Scarecrow in a short but exciting sequence.
Don't let me find you out here again.
We're trying to help you. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
The escalation isn't just on the criminal side either. Now, people emulating the Batman, though desiring to help out of pure good of heart, are using similar tactics, though far more deadly, using guns to hunt down criminals. The opposite of what Batman himself aims to stand for. Next, Batman meets Gordon at the bank, where the two discuss the marked bills left behind. The bank was another used by the mob, and Batman tells Gordon the time has come to arrest them. Gordon responds that it would be hard to keep the new DA, Harvey Dent, out of the massive corruption overthrow. He'd want in for the positive press. Batman doesn't mind this, pushing for the arrests and convictions of the rest of the mob members, having gotten to Falcone in the prior film, and says capturing Joker can wait as he is just one man, at first underestimating the power of the war-painted individual. The following morning, Alfred delivers Bruce his breakfast, where the temporary Batcave, an underground bunker in an abandoned construction site, is revealed while Wayne Manor is being rebuilt, still in ruins from Ra's al Ghul's attack in the prior film. The bunker set, since this very film, has become a popular shooting location for artist music videos, given its unique look. Alfred and Bruce discuss the copycats from the night prior.
Why don't you hire them and take the weekend off?
That wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I said I wanted to inspire people.
I know.
As well as the new district attorney, Harvey Dent, who happens to be dating Bruce's childhood crush, Rachel Dawes. At last, the audience is introduced to Harvey Dent, Gotham's new DA.
Heads, I'll take it. Tailsies all yours.
Oh, yeah? You want to flip a coin to see who leads?
As I recall, it got me my first date with you.
I wouldn't leave something like that up to chance.
I don't. I make my own luck.
Thought the DA just played golf with the mayor, things like that.
Tee-off's 1:30. More than enough time to put you away for life, Sally.
In the courtroom, Dent and Dawes attempt to convict Salvatore Maroni. The thug on the stand attempts to shake things up.
It was me. I'm the brains of the organization.
Order. Permission to treat the witnesses hostile. Granted.
Hostile? I see you hostile.
Carbon fiber, 28 caliber, made in China. If you want to kill a public servant, Mr. Maroney, I recommend you buy American.
The fact that they're trying to kill you means we're getting to them.
I'm fine, by the way.
Come on, Harvey, you're Gotham's DA. You're not getting shot at. You're not doing your job right.
The attempted shooting in the courtroom seems to mirror Harvey Dent's original backstory where he became Two-Face, with Maroni throwing acid onto his face. Because this exact scenario was depicted on screen just over a decade prior, it made sense for Nolan and the other writers to shake things up. Gordon then meets with Dent to assess his character in person, and the two agree to work together with the Batman to arrest and convict the mob members. In this scene, there is an incredible dichotomy between the way James Gordon and Harvey Dent think. Harvey is an idealist, even described as such by Gordon in the scene, striving for pure justice in the city. Gordon takes a more realism-inspired approach to cleaning up the city, with not only Batman, a vigilante's help, but also having dirty cops on his team.
If I didn't work with cops she'd investigated, I'd be working alone. I don't get political points for being an idealist. I have to do the best I can with what I have.
Very clearly, the audience is shown what Gotham is and what the city can be.
I'll get you your warrants, but I want your trust.
Well, you don't have to sell me that. You don't know your Gotham swing light.
I heard they have a different name for me down at MCU.
I would know that name.
Next, a businessman named Mr. Lau meets with Wayne Enterprises executives to discuss a business transaction, though the man's company's books appear to be illegal.
Okay, cancel the deal.
You already knew.
Just needed a closer look at their books.
Bruce then asks Lucius for a new suit.
Yeah, 3 buttons is a little 90s, Mr. Wayne.
I'm not talking fashion, Mr. Fox, so much as function.
Want to be able to turn your head.
Sure made backing out in the driveway easier.
I'll see what I can do.
Next, Bruce purposefully bumps into Rachel and Harvey at his hotel and sits down to separately assess Harvey's character.
Gotham needs heroes like you, elected officials, not a man who thinks he is above the law.
Exactly.
Who appointed the Batman?
We did. All of us who stood by and let scum take control of our city.
Bruce is won over and decides to allow Harvey into his small circle on the rooftop of the police station. Not only that, but with Harvey's next words.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Whoever the Batman is, he doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. How could he? Batman is looking for someone to take up his mantle.
Someone like you, Mr. Dent?
Maybe, if I'm up to it.
What if Harvey Dent is the Caped Crusader?
It is clear in this very moment, with Bale's perfect facial performance, the audience can see Bruce's wheels turning, the people trying to stand alongside Batman, the copycats with guns, are not what Bruce wants to hand his legacy over to. In fact, he doesn't want another Batman to even exist. Seeing Harvey talking, and even just a casual sense about justice in a similar manner to Bruce's own sensibilities, Bruce decided that Harvey was the hero the city needed. A face, not a mask, that the people of Gotham can look up to.
Well, I'm sold. Then I'm gonna throw you a fundraiser.
That's nice of you, Bruce, but I'm not up for re-election for 3 years.
No, you don't understand. One fundraiser with my pals. You'll never need another cent.
Right after this uplifting scene, the audience sees Mr. Lau is working with the mob, and they discuss the Joker stealing from them. Mr. Lau reveals he moved the mob's money, entirely halting Gordon and Dent's attempt to stop the mob. Then, the very man they are speaking of shows up.
Rest assured, your money is safe.
I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. It's gone. I want to hear proposition.
Joker, the very man stealing from the mob, threatens them with a truce, as backwards as it sounds, offering to kill the Batman for them, for more of their money.
How much you want?
Half. You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
You think you could steal from us and just walk away?
Yeah.
I'm putting the word out. 500 grand for this clown dead. 1 million alive. So I can teach him some manners first.
Listen, why don't you give me a call when you want to start taking things a little more seriously? Here's my card.
Ledger's performance in the scene is quite compelling and eerie. This grimy-looking Joker seemed dangerous, like one wouldn't want to stand too close. This was a man that meant business, and at the same time, none at all. Beautiful, spooky chaos. Harvey Dent, fed up, calls the Batman to the top of the station, Gordon coming out to yell at Dent. The two men bicker, accusing each other of sabotaging the mission, and turn to Batman for help to get Lau back. This scene right here is perhaps the most Batman this film series ever feels, harkening back in such a good way to several classic Batman scenes. Next, Bruce is gifted his new suit from Lucius, and they, along with Alfred, discuss their plan to capture Lau, using the Russian ballet as cover. Right after Bruce makes his getaway, Gamble is informed that someone killed the Joker, and the body bag is dropped off.
So, dead? That's 500.
How about a lie? You wanna know how I got these scars?
In another classic moment, the Joker begins telling Gamble his potential backstory, though Joker tells a completely different story to Rachel later on. It is never revealed which story, if either, is actually true, helping to give more mystery to this strange character.
My father was a drinker, and one night he goes off crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Me watching. He takes the knife to her. He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?" Sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's put a smile on that face. And why so serious?
Joker then enlists Gamble's men to join his team.
There's only one spot open right now, so we're gonna have tryouts. Make it fast.
Lucius then meets with Mr. Lau to not only cancel the deal in person, but to plant a phone capable of messing with their security systems and allowing the building to be mapped with sonar, just like a
submarine, Mr. Wayne, like a submarine.
Bruce, wearing the brand new Batsuit, then captures Mr. Lau in an exciting action sequence ending with the two being pulled up into a plane from the building by Cable. In the following scene, the audience is treated to a great instance of Gordon, Dent, and Dawes all working together to get dirt on Lau, to attempt to charge all of the mob members with conspiracy. Having successfully done so, Gordon shows up to arrest Maroni and Chechen as they discuss hiring the Joker to kill Batman.
I'm not aware of any participation by the Batman.
Oh boy, looks good on the tube.
You sure you want to embarrass me in front of my friends, Lieutenant?
Oh, don't worry. They're coming too.
549 criminals at once. How did you convince Cirillo to hear this farce?
She shares my enthusiasm for justice. After all, she is a judge.
In the very next scene, Dent meets with the mayor to discuss the 500 arrests.
They get anything on you, and those criminals are back on the streets, followed swiftly by you and me.
Where it's revealed that Joker was indeed hired to kill the Bat. His first target? A copycat, where he left a calling card with instructions for the real Batman to submit. Afterwards, a disturbing video the Joker recorded is played on the news.
The image is disturbing. Tell them your name.
Right. He's a symbol. We don't have to be afraid of scum like you.
Yeah, you do, Brian. You really do. Oh, shush.
Where Joker reiterates that Batman needs to turn himself in.
Oh, and every day he doesn't, people will die. Starting tonight, I'm a man of my word.
That evening, Bruce's fundraiser for Harvey Dent begins.
Alfred, right? That's what I said.
Yeah, Rachel talks about you all the time. Any psychotic ex-boyfriends I should be aware of?
Oh, you have no idea.
Bruce shows up and begins to use his rich playboy persona.
You know, when Rachel first told me that she was dating Harvey Dent, I had one thing to say. The guy from those god-awful campaign commercials, I believe in Harvey Dent.
Yeah, nice slogan, Harvey.
But then, the real Bruce, how he actually feels, comes to the surface.
But it caught Rachel's attention. And then I started to pay attention to Harvey. And all that he's been doing is our new DA. And you know what? I believe in Harvey Dent. I believe that on his watch, Gotham can feel a little safer, a little more optimistic. This is the face of Gotham's bright future. To Harvey Dent. Let's hear it for him.
He meets afterward with Rachel and continues the sentiment, mentioning that he wants Harvey to be Gotham's new hero. The scene hints that Bruce still has hope that Rachel will choose him over Harvey, even though Harvey hopes to propose to Rachel, and even though Bruce believes Harvey to be a better man than himself, wanting him to pick up the mantle of the city's savior. In the first film, Bruce saw the good of Gotham in Rachel, someone and something to fight for. But in this film, the two are separated. Bruce wants to trade the good of Gotham to Harvey for Rachel. It's an interesting dichotomy between the films, often overlooked. As Gordon attempts to protect Judge Cirillo and Commissioner Loeb from Joker, as their DNA was found on the Joker card.
It makes you think about things you couldn't stand losing, about who you want to spend the rest of your life with.
It's a pretty big commitment.
Let's be serious then.
Okay.
What's your answer?
I don't have an answer.
I guess no answer is a no.
Harvey.
That's someone else's.
Harvey.
Just tell me it's not Wayne. The guy's a complete...
What are you doing?
Bruce attempts to protect Harvey as his DNA was also found on the card.
Come for it.
We made it.
Stay hidden. How'd they get my DNA? Somebody with access to your office or your house must have lifted tissue or glass. Wait!
Cirillo and Loeb are killed, and the Joker shows up to personally kill Harvey Dent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
I only have one question. Where is Harvey Dent?
I need to talk to him about something. Just something little, huh? No.
Okay, stop.
Rachel attempts to intimidate the Joker, and Joker tries out another, new backstory on her.
Come here. Hey, so I had a wife. She was beautiful. Like you. Who gambles and gets in the sharks. One day they carve her face. I just want to see her smile again. I just want her to know that I don't care about the scars. I stick a razor in my mouth and do this. And you know what? She can't stand the sight of me. She leaves. Now I see the funny side. Now I'm always smiling. Little fight you. I like that. And you're gonna love me.
Batman shows up and briefly fights Joker and his thugs.
Let her go. Very poor choice of words.
Let's not do that again.
After saving Rachel, and with Harvey still safely locked in the broom closet, Bruce speaks about the escalation of crime in Gotham, where Alfred, through the expert acting of Michael Caine, delivers an excellent anecdote about the Joker.
We just need to figure out what he's after.
With respect, Master Wayne, perhaps this is a man you don't fully understand either. I was in Burma. My friends and I were working for the local government, but their caravans were being raided by a bandit. So we went looking for the stumps. One day, I saw a child playing with a ruby the size of a tangerine. The bandit had been throwing them away.
So why steal them?
Well, because he thought it was good sport, because some men aren't looking for anything logical like money. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Then, Batman and Gordon view a crime scene where the Joker had pettily killed two men to prove a point.
Richard Dent. Patrick Harvey.
Harvey Dent.
A crime scene where Joker would name his next victim. the mayor. Batman attempts to take a bullet to analyze for fingerprints, and Detective Ramirez yells at Batman.
I need 10 minutes for the scene before your men contaminate it.
Us contaminated? It's because of you these guys are dead.
This scene indicates to the audience that the general citizen was going through a vibe shift from positive outlook on Batman to wanting him to submit to the Joker's demands. They were ready for evil to win against good. Something Bruce couldn't stand for. Yet. A disgruntled Wayne Enterprises employee found blueprints for the Batmobile in the archives and demands money from Lucius Fox. And with this moment, Mr. Reese has knowledge on the Batman.
You think that your client, one of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world, is secretly a vigilante who spends his nights beating criminals to a pulp with his bare hands? And your plan is to blackmail this person? Good luck.
And with his appearance on television to expose Wayne, proves he has knowledge that could get him killed. The parade, the mayor's speech, is Joker's suspected moment of attack on the mayor.
Who's that?
What happened?
They took our guns, uniforms.
Bruce and Gordon were right.
Stand by. Honor, guard, now attach. Forward. Ready?
Gordon takes a bullet for the mayor. Harvey Dent manages to kidnap one of Joker's goons, a goon wearing Rachel's jacket. Joker had named her as his next victim. When Gordon's wife Barb is told about his death, she screams at Batman.
Are you out here? You brought this craziness on us! You did! You brought this on us!
The second person to let him fall from grace as Gotham's savior in their eyes when times got tough. After all, she wasn't wrong, and the filmmakers knew that. Escalation was because of Batman, as intended in the script. Luckily, this scene is wrapped up later on as Gordon wasn't actually dead. They only let Joker think he killed Gordon so they could capture him after an intense, amazing semi-Batmobile Batpod sequence. I'll give you the gist later on in the film when it happens, but you simply must see it first if you haven't. Pure, exciting cinema. Batman beats up Maroni's thugs in a club. The fighting is much improved over Batman Begins. It's rough and raw, just as Batman should be. Harvey calls Rachel and warns her she's Joker's next target. Then, simultaneously, Batman and Harvey interrogate their respective criminal hostages.
That wise to your act. You got rules. The Joker, he's got no rules. Nobody's gonna cross him for you.
Harvey threatens the goon with a gun, but he uses his double-sided coin to try to trick the man. Aaron Eckhart is phenomenal in this scene. David Dastmalchian, the guy who's in everything, wonderfully portrayed one of Joker's goons in the scene as well.
Let's go again.
I don't know anything. Don't.
You leave a man's life to chance? Not exactly.
Batman tells Harvey,
Your stand against organized crime is the first legitimate ray of light in Gotham in decades. If anyone saw this, everything would be undone.
And to hold a press conference where he would submit to the Joker so Rachel wouldn't die.
Gotham's in your hands now. You can't. You can't give in.
You can't give in!
Bruce shares a scene at last alone with Rachel.
You once told me that if the day came when I was finished, that we'd be together.
Bruce, don't make me your one hope for a normal life.
Did you mean it?
Yes.
You can see so clearly with Gyllenhaal's performance how torn Rachel is between the dark and light nights. At the conference, Harvey stands up for Batman while the people in attendance are clearly in stark opposition.
Hurt himself, big. Give us the back.
Bruce sees the writing on the wall and is ready to turn himself in as the Batman, when Harvey surprises everyone in a noble effort
I am the Batman.
attempting to buy Batman more time to stop the Joker. Rachel, deeply upset that Bruce would let Harvey take the fall for Batman, gives Alfred a note for Bruce, choosing to marry Harvey instead of be with him.
It's the Joker's chance, and when he attacks, the Batman will take him down.
Listen to me. This is too dangerous. Tell everyone the truth.
Heads, I go through with it.
This is your life. You can't leave something like that to chance.
I'm not.
You make your own luck.
Then, the semi-trap scene happens where the Joker attempts to kidnap Harvey Dent. The Joker's semi and goons chase the armored car and police convoy, shooting them with a bunch of weapons.
These things are built for that, right?
He's gonna need something a lot bigger to get through this.
What is that? Is that a bazooka?
The action is intense. Batman arrives and tries to take out as many of the enemy vehicles as possible. During which the Batmobile is destroyed. And Batman ejects in a motorcycle called the Bat Pod. Joker manages to knock a helicopter out of the sky.
Now there's a Batman.
Batman catches up, and the two play chicken with the Joker's semi and Batman's Bat Pod. Though Batman eventually ties the semi up and flips it.
He missed!
The shot is actually breathtaking. Joker gets out with a gun, and they come at each other once more in a climactic scene reminiscent of this. But unique in the sense Joker gets that Batman doesn't kill. He won't do what's necessary to stop the Joker.
Could you please just give me a minute?
Though right at the last moment, Gordon, still alive, jumps out and stops the Joker.
You do like to play things pretty close to the chest.
We got him, Harvey.
Harvey is freed and cleared of all charges related to the Batman, and Gordon is promoted to commissioner.
You don't have any say in the matter, Commissioner Gordon.
Save you, Daddy.
Actually, this time, I saved him.
Gordon, reunited with his family, gets an alarming call and immediately heads to interrogate the Joker.
Evening, Commissioner.
Harvey Dent never made it home.
Of course not.
What have you done with him?
Me? Who did you leave him with?
Where is he?
Depending on the time, he may be in one spot or several.
If we're gonna play games, I'm gonna need a cup of coffee.
The good cop, bad cop routine?
Not exactly.
You wanted me. Here I am. I wanted to see what you'd do. And you didn't disappoint. You let 5 people die. Then you let Dent take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Where's Dent?
Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
And why do you want to kill me?
I don't want to kill you. No, you. You complete me. To To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. Understand? Have all these rules, and you think they'll save you.
Ledger reportedly asked Bale to physically hit him for the scene. Bale declined, but Ledger still cracked and dented the walls by throwing himself around.
The only sensible way to live in this world is without rules. And tonight, you're gonna break your one rule. I'm considering it. No, there's only minutes left. You're gonna have to play my little game if you want to save one of them. Does Harvey know about you and his little bunnies? Where are they? Killing is making a choice. Where are they?
Joker tells Batman the addresses of where Harvey and Rachel are separately trapped, rigged to explosives. However, Joker purposely tells Batman the wrong addresses. He swaps them so the person saved knows Batman didn't want to choose that person. Batman chooses Rachel over Harvey, and Harvey hopes they save Rachel. Harvey falls against a vat of gas attempting to escape, and Batman arrives seeing Joker lied about the addresses.
No! No, not me! Why are you coming for me? Rachel!
Joker escapes the police station and Batman saves Harvey. The bombs go off. Rachel, Bruce's, and Harvey's love dies. Harvey is lit on fire, the part of his face soaked in oil, burning. Gyllenhaal's acting when she realizes she wasn't the one being saved was immaculate. And in that very moment, Bruce and Harvey lost the love of their lives.
I'm going to marry Harvey Dent, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him. When I told you that if Gotham no longer needed Batman, we could be together, I meant it. But as your friend,
I'm sorry, Harvey.
I'm sorry to let you down. If you lose your faith in me, please keep your faith in people. Love now and always. Rachel.
Rachel, Alfred?
Rachel believed in what you stood for, what we stand for. Gotham needs you.
No, Gotham needs its true hero. And I let that murdering psychopath blow him half to hell.
Which is why, for now, they're gonna have to make do with you.
The tropes, the rules of the genre become things the audience rely on, and it's very easy to knock that out from under them. It's very easy to trick them. Batman is put in the impossible situation, again, that every superhero always finds himself in. Do you save the damsel in distress, your girlfriend, or do you save the busload of civilians, or the cable car full of New Yorkers, or in this case, your ally, Harvey Dent? And though the Joker twists the rule set on him, you're sort of barreling towards this moment of waiting for him to magically save both of them. And he doesn't. He doesn't. He loses. And I just remember sitting in that movie theater and you could hear a pin drop.
Sorry about Rachel.
Remember that name you all had for me when I was at Internal Affairs? What was it, Gordon?
Harvey.
Two-Face, Harvey Two-Face. I'm sorry.
No. No, you're not. Not yet.
No, so crazy as you look. I told you, I'm a man of my word.
What you'll do with all your money?
You see, I'm a guy of simple taste. Dynamite, and gunpowder, and gasoline. What's it? And you know the thing that they have in common? They're cheap. I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to them. Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you to your pooches? And then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is. not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns.
Coleman Reese, the disgruntled Wayne Enterprises employee, appears on TV to share the identity of Batman, when the Joker, having a change of heart, having had too much fun with Batman previously, calls in to the program.
I don't want Mr. Reese spoiling everything, but why should I have all the fun? If Coleman Reese isn't dead in 60 minutes, then I blow up a hospital.
Trying to kill me, or maybe Batman will save me.
Hi. When you and, Rachel were being abducted, I was sitting in Gordon's cage.
Your man, your plan.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. They're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are. When I say that you and your girlfriend was nothing personal, you know that I'm telling the truth.
Freed by the Joker, Harvey begins picking off everyone that had to do with Rachel's death, using his double-sided coin to see who lives and dies.
You live. You die. Now we're talking.
Joker blows up the hospital. This funny bit completely improvised by Ledger, as the charges didn't go off in time. And Joker tells Gotham that the city is his, and everyone who doesn't want to play by Joker's rules needs to leave. Ferries are boarded, one with the criminals dent locked up as Gordon suspected they would figure into the Joker's plan somehow, and the other with ordinary citizens.
Tonight you're all going to be a part of a social experiment. Each of you has a remote. Blow up the other boat. At midnight, I blow you all up. If, however, one of you presses the button, I'll let that boat live. So, who's it gonna be? Harvey Dent's most wanted scumbag collection, or the sweet and innocent civilians? You choose. Oh, and you might want to decide quickly, because the people on the other boat may not be quite so noble.
Batman makes his way to fight Joker, with help from Lucius Fox's more advanced echolocation machine. As the moral dilemma plays out on the ships, neither of the groups on the boats wants to die, but neither side wants to blow the other up either. It's interesting how quick the civilians were to discuss blowing up the criminals as they had their chance, dehumanizing them. But killing the criminals would only serve to make the civilians just as bad, if not worse than the criminals on the other boat. And they know that.
Give it to me, and I'll do what you should have did 10 minutes ago.
The acting from everyone in the scene is phenomenal and tense.
In the sequence in The Dark Knight, when the people were on the boat and they had to make a decision, do they press the button and blow up the other boatload full of people in order to save their own skin, or do they not? People were telling me in the darkness of the movie theaters, no matter who they were with, a parent, a date, a spouse, kid, very quietly, they made their own moral determination as to what they would do. For a comic book, superhero movie, to move people to this point, to become so thematically important, to have such heft, to have such weight, is incredible. And that is very specifically one of the ways that the Dark Knight trilogy raised the bar for all comic book films.
At last, Batman gets to the Joker.
Oh, you made it. I'm so thrilled. Don't get hurt.
Joker traps Batman, hoping to watch the fireworks with him.
Here we go.
Both fairies decided to leave the other alive, proving once again that there is good in Gotham.
What were you trying to prove? Deep down, everyone's as ugly as you. You know how I got these scars? No. But I know how you got these. You just couldn't let me go, could you? This city just showed you that it's full of people ready to believe in good. Until their spirit breaks completely. Until they get a good look at the real Harvey Dent. You didn't think I'd risk losing the battle for Gotham's soul in a fistfight with you. I took Gotham's White Knight, and I brought him down to our level. See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
The film culminates with Harvey Two-Face Dent holding Gordon's family at gunpoint.
I'm sorry for everything. You don't want to hurt the boy, Harvey. It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair! You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time. What happened to Rachel wasn't chance. We decided to act. We three. Then why was it me who was the only one who lost everything? It wasn't. He wanted to prove that even someone as good as you could fall. And he was right. You first.
Forcing Gordon to tell his son that everything will be okay, like Harvey had to say to Rachel.
Your boy's gonna be alright. Lie. Like I lied.
Batman saves Gordon's son, falling over the side of the platform, killing Dent. Batman tells Gordon to blame him for everyone Two-Face killed, that Gotham needs Harvey Dent as their hero. Dent is the hope, the hero the city needed.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I killed those people. That's what I can be. No, you can't. You're not. I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be. Set the dogs on me. Because that's what needs to happen. Truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Because he's the hero Gotham deserves. But not the one he needs right now. So we'll hunt him. Because he can take it. Because he's not a hero. He's a silent guardian. A watchful protector. The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's sequel to Batman Begins, was a tense film, packed with brilliant performances, not afraid to ask difficult but compelling questions. Though The Dark Knight, just like Batman Begins, deals with the theme of legacy, though this time through the lens of what impact Bruce wants Batman to have, who he wants to hand the reins of justice in Gotham over to so he can be with Rachel. The most prominent theme throughout the film is what it means to be a hero. The film constantly questions if the Batman directly caused worse criminals in Gotham through escalation, and Batman himself, in order to allow Gotham citizens hope, takes the fall for Harvey Dent's murders. And at the center of that escalation was the Joker, a man, a mystery man, who doesn't want anything. In Batman Begins, Bruce wanted to keep his family legacy alive, do right by his parents to defend the city from corruption as they did, but not just with money, with his physical presence, with a symbol. Carmine Falcone wanted more power, The Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane, desired to research the fear toxin, working with Ra's al Ghul and Carmine Falcone to see the effects of the toxin on a grand scale. And lastly, Ra's al Ghul wanted to destroy Gotham, as he had been unable to do so during his first attempt many years ago. But here, the Joker has no motive aside from chaos, to take the heroes of Gotham and make them fall. He doesn't want anything aside from wanting to watch the world burn. The fall to darkness was the second main theme prevalent throughout the film. Joker wanted to take the character that embodied hope, optimism, and justice and turn him to the dark side, to show even the best of people can be bad, do terrible things despite casting negative opinions of others who do the same. Harvey, though the most clear example of this, having fallen from his status as a hero, and a fall literally killing him, wasn't the only example of the theme. Batman literally falling alongside Harvey, a metaphor for Batman's legacy becoming shrouded in darkness rather than hope, taking the metaphorical fall for Harvey's murders. Throughout the film, the Joker attempts to prove that the fall to darkness can happen to anyone. To prove this, Joker uses the tool, the third main theme, chaos. See, Joker believed that without a leader telling the ants everything will be okay, people would act out. And he was mostly right. Within the span of 2 hours, Joker turned the city against Batman, manipulated Harvey Dent, encouraged the mob's men to work for him as he had no rules, Joker being the safest bet against Batman, encouraged people to shoot a man, and almost encouraged people to blow up an opposing fairy. Though Joker had been right in many instances, that people's morals often came with societal stability, he overlooked the average individual's own attempts to be a good person. True morality comes from within. On July 18th, 2008, The Dark Knight was released in a record 4,366 North American theaters, shattering records, earning a total of $1 billion, making the film the highest-grossing comic book, superhero, and Batman film. The highest-grossing film of 2008, the fourth film to earn over $1 billion, and the second highest-grossing film ever at the time, just behind 1997's Titanic. Multiple publications named The Dark Knight as the best comic book hero adaptation ever made, with many appreciating the, quote, complex moral tale about the effects of vigilantism and terrorism on a contemporary society, end quote. Praising the through line of escalation, how Batman's war on crime only served to harden the criminals. Bale's raspy Batman performance received mixed reviews, some feeling the performance had devolved since the prior film. Oppositely, Ledger's performance was described as, quote, realizing the Joker so convincingly, intensely, and viscerally, it made the audience forget about the actor behind the makeup and his tragic death, captivating audiences, whether it be overall tone of the production, writing, or purely just the acting itself. Critics felt that Aaron Eckhart was a much better, more realistic casting for and portrayal of Two-Face than Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever. Critics still felt Harvey's fall from grace was underwritten or rushed due to the intense pace of the film. The Batman animated series adaptation of Harvey's storyline was very similar, but allowed for far more runtime to show the transformation into Two-Face, leaning more heavily on the Jekyll and Hyde source material that inspired the character to begin with. Despite minor shortcomings, the film was overwhelmingly viewed positively, if not a cinematic masterpiece, sweeping the awards season. The Dark Knight was included on several lists recognizing the best films of 2008, such as from film critic Roger Ebert, The Hollywood Reporter, and the American Film Institute. At the 13th Satellite Awards, The Dark Knight received an award for sound editing or mixing. At the People's Choice Awards, the film won awards for favorite movie, favorite cast, favorite action movie, and favorite on-screen matchup, Bale and Ledger. The film won Critics' Choice Awards for Best Action Movie, and Ledger won Best Supporting Actor. Howard and Zimmer won a Grammy for Best Motion Picture Score, and Ledger won Best Supporting Actor at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, British Academy Film Awards, and Golden Globe Awards. Other awards won included ceremonies such as the Empire Awards, MTV Movie Awards, and Saturn Awards.
Menacing, mercurial, droll, and diabolical, Heath Ledger, as the Joker in The Dark Knight, kept us all on edge, anxious to see what act of appalling mischief he might commit next. With this bravura performance, as well as with a wide range of other roles to which he put his unique signature, Heath Ledger has left us an original and enduring legacy.
And the Oscar goes to Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger received the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, the second actor ever to win a post-death Academy Award, much deserved. Despite the critical and financial success and award sweep of The Dark Knight, the lack of a Best Picture Academy Award nomination was described as a snub, as for many years the Academy was criticized for ignoring high-performing, broadly popular films. In fact, the backlash was so intense that the Academy subsequently increased the limit for Best Picture nominations from 5 to 10, a change now known as the Dark Knight Rule, allowing for more broadly popular but respected films to be nominated, including 2018's Black Panther. The Dark Knight's merchandise campaign was massive. Just like its marketing and promotional campaign, the studio knew that even though all the villains had been seen on screen previously, that the film would be a hit. And they were right. Dark Knight merchandise included a variety of clothing items, toys, and media. The main action figure line was from Mattel, featuring the film's characters like Batman and the Joker, but also extra characters like Firefly and Deathstroke. There were also these goofy-looking bobbleheads and modern, highly realistic statues. From 2014 onwards, LEGO released multiple iterations of the Batpod and Tumbler, featuring the Dark Knight's characters. There was even a unique mini Bat computer for kids from Oregon Scientific, featuring some neat brain games.
Train your brain with some cool activity. Learn and play with the Dark Knight laptop now.
Printed tie-ins included a novelization by Dennis O'Neil, a junior novelization, and several Dark Knight children's books. Interestingly, there was no official comic adaptation of The Dark Knight, unlike every prior Batman film. There was, however, a comic adaptation of just the film's bank heist prologue, only available in Best Buy's Blu-ray bundle of the film. Furthermore, every prior Batman film, from 1989's Batman to 2005's Batman Begins, was released alongside a tie-in video game. The Dark Knight was the very first Batman film to break this pattern. However, there were two separate Dark Knight games in development. First, Pandemic Studio began developing the official Dark Knight tie-in game, even before the film's principal photography began. Batman The Dark Knight was initially a linear adventure game, just as the 2005 Batman Begins tie-in game had been. But due to the mixed reception of the prior video game, the studio decided an open-world approach could elicit better reviews and more sales. However, upon this change, developers realized the game engine was incompatible with what they desired to do. After attempting to hold the game together with duct tape, essentially, attempting to keep the old engine, as starting from scratch would be too expensive, The game ended up missing several pivotal deadlines due to the technical issues, and the game's publisher, Electronic Arts, decided to cancel the game entirely. A second Dark Knight game was developed by Monolith Studios under the codename Apollo, with some test footage having been released recently. The game was set after the events of The Dark Knight, but before the events of The Dark Knight's eventual sequel. Just like the other game, Project Apollo failed to make it off the ground. Instead, Batman fans expecting a video game were treated to not a Dark Knight tie-in game, but in 2009, the coveted classic Batman Arkham Asylum was released on home consoles and PC, garnering much praise.
The Joker has been apprehended. Batman is now en route to Arkham Island.
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it.
At least he's back where he belongs. Get up!
I set a trap, and you sprang it gloriously!
And starring fan-favorite Batman voice actors like the late Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Though the Dark Knight tie-in game wasn't meant to be, potentially at the time, marking the end of the film tie-in video game craze rampant throughout the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Fans were instead treated to a game that was, perhaps, even better.
It's over, Joker.
Over? Why, my dear delusional Dark Knight, it hasn't even begun.
The Dark Knight, following its tremendously intricate marketing campaign, was intended to be a success, and in fact, was. The film was tied into a massive merchandising campaign, featuring toys, clothing, and accessories, printed media, and more, allowing fans of the film to take a piece of it home with them. With the soft success of Batman Begins, and the massive financial and critical success of The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's Batman series was a hit. A third film was certainly on the way, with Batman once again on the run from police, Harvey Dent's legacy in question, and the potential for Gotham's criminality to escalate even further. Aside from potential plot points, real-world questions regarding the film were just as prominent. Reportedly, the third film was supposed to feature the Joker to some degree, just as Dark Knight included Scarecrow from the prior film. With Heath Ledger's untimely passing, how would Nolan and others go about the third film's inclusion of this important character? 4 years after the hit Dark Knight, audiences were treated to Christopher Nolan's next installment of his Batman universe. The Dark Knight Rises. Because after a character falls, the only thing left to do is rise. Years after Batman Begins resurrected and rebooted the Batman film franchise, The Dark Knight was released to critical acclaim and financial success. Packed with powerful performances and backed with an immersive and unique advertising campaign, when Batman fans look back to their favorite on-screen adaptations of the character, they are more than likely to point to the film that fans not only needed, but deserved. The Dark Knight.